Stunt Master was a popular Flash game that came out during the golden era of browser-based gaming in the early 2010s. It was developed by ID.net and 2D Play, with support from Y8.com. Stunt Master is a stunt-based game that included physics-based challenges. The premise is simple. You're shooting an action-packed movie filled with stunts and natural jumps. The game starts with the cameraman calling action. Your goal is to reach the crew while performing stunts like dodging barrels, breaking glass, riding over seesaws, or even navigating a moving train. The player, Cha the actor, also receives awards after the challenge gets completed. The game features exciting stunt-based challenges where players perform tricks to progress through levels, adding both thrill and difficulty. You can either walk, choose a motorcycle, or a car to perform a stunt, each offering unique abilities and traits. As you advance, the stunts get tougher. I personally used to love the motorcycle, or sometimes car. The toughest struggle in this game was to just reach to the cameraman by anyway. One standout feature is the exaggerated physics. Your character can crash through obstacles and break his bones, and even fracturing himself fully by turning red. Football Legends is a beloved Flash game that's captured the hearts of many with its fun gameplay, unique features, and nostalgic vibe. The game holds special nostalgia for Gen Z, the peak of our childhood, where we saw Messi and Neymar at Barcelona and Ronaldo at Real Madrid. Created by ID.net and published by Y8.com, the game lets players control famous footballers. It also features power-ups like Super Shot, Teleport, and Goal Pose Block, which fill up based on the goals scored and time played. What I remember from playing this game are the frustrating timeouts and tied matches, which happened way too often. The game offered several modes, including tournament, elimination, and friendly matches. There were also handicap matches, like 2-on-1. The two-player mode was great for teaming up with a friend or our bro, using the WASD keys for controls. Players control their chosen football legend, performing actions to score goals and defend against opponents. The game offers multiplayer options, letting you compete against friends or other online players. There's also an Android version called Football League Y8, which is still available on the Play Store and offers more advanced features. 2D Knockout is a classic Flash-based boxing game that defined the browser gaming era of the early 2000s. Released on January 17, 2005 by 2darcade.com, it became a hit on platforms like Addicting Games. This was a time when browser games were easily accessible and didn't require downloads or installations. In 2D Knockout, players take part in boxing matches that span a virtual world tour. The controls are simple. Use the mouse to move left and right, the left mouse button to punch, and the spacebar to block. Players travel the globe, facing opponents in different locations, which adds variety and progression to the game. We used to fight characters like Blitz Kaiser from Germany, Raikim Tiger from Kenya, and more. There were a total of 5 opponents, starting with Germany, followed by Kenya, Thailand, Brazil, and lastly in Australia. At one point, we pressed the mouse so much that it would end up breaking and not working. Did you know you can enter a cheat code to face a specific player in a specific country in 2D Knockout? Staggy 2 Online is part of the popular Staggy series from the early 2000s Flash game era. It's the sequel to the original Staggy, the Boyscout Slayer, and was released on September 5, 2006. Available on nutstation.com by Stagnite. Staggy the Boyscout Slayer 2, players face timed rounds where they must eliminate as many scouts as possible within 60 seconds. Players can switch between different weapons using the number keys 1 through 7 and face off against various enemies like camels, Boy Scouts with umbrellas, and scouts wielding sticks. God Mode was next level. You couldn't be hurt by anyone. The Uber Sword was iconic, capable of taking out 3 enemies in one hit. There were 3 electrical weapons to choose from: a lawnmower, chainsaw, and laser sword. The worst part was that they all required batteries. The game was developed by Bodhi Benjamin Surscore for Stag Night, known for creating quirky and fun online games. Did you know the game never truly ends? After completing level 7, you're shown level 8. But the difficulty resets to level 1, making the game easier after that point. Batman. Mystery of the Batwoman is a Flash game based on the animated film of the same name, released on October 21st, 2003. Developed as promotional content for the movie, the game gave fans an interactive way to engage with the storyline. In this side-scrolling action-adventure, players take on the role of Batman as he works to uncover the identity of a new vigilante in Gotham City, Batwoman. Released alongside the film, the game was part of a broader trend in the early 2000s when flash games were a popular way to promote movies and TV shows. In the game, players control Batman using arrow keys to move, jump, crouch, and even use the bat rope to reach higher platforms. Each enemy type comes with unique weapons, requiring players to adjust their strategies. The game also incorporates stealth, allowing players to avoid detection and surprise enemies. Each level is uniquely designed, with environments inspired by Gotham City, offering diverse settings and challenges as Batman works to uncover Batwoman's identity.
Who are you? Why are you doing this?
You're the great detective. Figure it out. Got a jet.
Paxon is a unique and addictive flash game that smartly combines elements of two arcade classics, Pac-Man and Chix, or Zonix. This creative combination of gameplay mechanics made it a standout in the world of browser games. Released in February 2007, Paxon challenges players to fill at least 80% of the screen by building walls and capturing territory. You control Paxon, a character inspired by Pac-Man, as he moves across the screen while avoiding ghosts. The game includes 50 levels, each becoming more challenging as additional ghosts of different sizes appear. As you advance in Paxon, the difficulty increases, with ghosts becoming faster and more intelligent in their pursuit. Power-ups like fruits such as apples and bananas randomly appear on the screen, offering benefits like boosting Paxon's speed or slowing down, freezing the ghosts. Fortunately, Paxon is still available on many gaming websites that have updated it to HTML5, ensuring new players can enjoy its distinctive gameplay. Driving Force 1 and 2 are a popular series of flash games that gained traction during the golden age of browser gaming. Known for their high-speed police chases, engaging missions, and action-packed gameplay, these games offered an immersive experience that was ahead of its time for flash games. While the exact release dates aren't well documented, the games were likely released in the early 2000s. In the Driving Force series, players take on the role of a police officer tasked with chasing and apprehending criminals, setting it apart from typical racing games of the era. Both games featured impressive 3D graphics, which were advanced for flash games. With a mission-based structure, players tackle various objectives like high-speed chases, combat, and time challenges. The games offered a more greater experience, such as mission-based structure, upgrade systems, and varied objectives. These games mark an important chapter in the history of browser-based gaming. Their mix of police chase action, engaging missions, and impressive graphics, for the time, made them standout titles in the flash game era. Extreme Pamplona is a fast-paced running game that puts players in the heart of the thrilling running of the Bulls Festival. Originally called Power Pamplona, the game was developed by Rexona, a brand known for hygiene products. Inspired by the annual event in Pamplona, Spain, players must race through the streets, dodging obstacles and bulls, while trying to outrun the danger. The game falls under the arcade genre, and was created as part of a promotional campaign for Sure Men deodorant, adding a layer of marketing to the gameplay. With millions of plays across various platforms, Extreme Pamplona became a popular, adrenaline-packed experience for players. Extreme Pamplona captures the essence of the San Fermin Festival, a traditional event in Pamplona that draws thousands of tourists every year. By allowing players to experience the thrill of the event virtually, the game taps into the excitement of the real-life festival. Each stage is set in different locations, providing variety as players progress. You can choose between two routes. The first takes you through Spain, Germany, England, and Russia, while the second covers Spain, the Netherlands, France, and Sweden. I remember getting stuck on the Russia level. It had so many calculated bounces and jumps, and if you fell, you'd have to start over from the ground. Honestly, for me, the Sweden level was pretty tough because there were two spa people chasing after you. Usually there is one. One of the smoothest levels of this game was Switzerland, which was available in both options, where we used to go ice skating while a person chased after us. Honestly, this game gave me the most anxiety, especially the Russia and Sweden levels. After completing all levels, we used to end up back in Spain, Pamplona, at the San Fermin festival in the evening, where we were awarded for winning the game. Super Drift 3D is a popular online flash game developed by Rumble Sushi 3D and published by PlayHub and Newgrounds. The game's development started in late 2010. It officially released on July 22, 2011. Super Drift 3D focuses on arcade-style racing, with an emphasis on drifting mechanics. Players need to master smooth drifts around corners to keep their speed up and navigate the tracks efficiently. The game features arcade mode, race against CPU opponents, time trials, race against the clock for the best times, 3 distinct tracks, Cherry Mountain, Coastal City, and Neon Good Times. The hardest track was definitely Neon Good Times. It had so many tight last-minute turns that would often send us crashing into the wall. Cherry Mountain, in my opinion, was the easiest. It was mostly straight, so we could hit speeds of up to 100 kilometers per hour without much trouble. Coastal City was the longest track, featuring bridges, tunnels, and mountains. It felt like you were traveling through several different locations in one round. Plus, those tricky last-minute turns made it even more challenging. The nervousness of the game was unmatched, especially when you were racing ahead of your opponent. You knew they were right behind you, and one mistake meant they'd pass you in an instant. Players can choose from a variety of cars, including the Lan Evo, FC, Skyline, AE86, and Testarossa. At 7.5 megabytes, this game defied the typical size limits for flash games. Developed by Joe Raffman and Susan Pollitt, the game became an instant hit, with over 100 million plays in its first year. The good news is that Rumble Sushi is working on a remastered edition, which will soon be available on Android, offering an even better experience. Commando 2 is an action-packed online game where players embark on daring military missions. Designed to be played in a web browser, it needs no downloads or installations. The Commando series is renowned for its tactical combat, influencing many other games in the genre. Commando 2 includes enemies like Japanese and Nazi soldiers, boxers, and swordsmen, adding variety to the challenges. Set during World War II, the game takes players to locations across Asia, such as China, Thailand, and a Japanese-controlled island in the Pacific, providing a rich historical setting. The objective in the game is simple: eliminate enemies while staying alive. The game features cameos, such as a villainous kung fu warrior inspired by Ryu from Street Fighter series, with iconic moves like Hadouken and the red, furious form of evil. The game includes 12 missions spread across 3 difficulty modes, with 36 weapons in 9 categories. Weapons like the blue rocket launcher are highly effective for destroying cars and barrels. One memorable level includes fighting bees or crocodiles, adding unexpected twists to the gameplay. Players begin with a full health bar and 10 lives. Developed by Macrojoy and hosted by Miniclip, Commando 2 debuted as a flash game on June 13, 2008. Its success led to its inclusion in the Commando Collection, launched on Steam on July 26, 2024, bringing the game to PC players. The level of detail in Commando 2 is remarkable. Despite being a flash game, its quality and depth are extraordinary for its time. Commando 2 remains highly praised, especially among fans of action and strategy games.